What if everything you thought was private wasn't? Welcome to the digital age, where the illusion of privacy is often more comforting than the reality. In this realm, our data, our thoughts, our lives are seemingly our own, yet they're constantly being captured, analyzed, and often exploited. In the grand scheme of things, our personal data might seem insignificant, yet it's akin to a goldmine for those who know how to use it. This is data privacy, the often overlooked yet vital aspect of our digital lives. It's the invisible barrier we believe protects us from the prying eyes of the world. But let's be honest, how many of us have skimmed through those lengthy terms and conditions before clicking I agree? How often have we traded our data for convenience, for that one free app or that quick login via social media? We've all done it thinking, what's the harm? But here's the thing. Our data, once out there, is not just ours anymore. It becomes part of a larger picture, a mosaic of information that can be pieced together to reveal more about us than we'd ever willingly share. It can predict our behaviors, influence our decisions, and even manipulate our beliefs. In this digital age, data protection is not just about safeguarding our information. It's about preserving our autonomy, our freedom to think and act without being manipulated by unseen forces. The importance of data privacy was underscored by a seismic event, a scandal that shook the world and shattered our complacency. It exposed the fragility of our online privacy and the immense power of data in the wrong hands. It was a wake-up call, a chilling revelation of how our personal information can be weaponized. And just when we thought our data was safe, along came the Cambridge Analytica scandal. A tale of intrigue, manipulation, and a stark reminder that in the digital world, nothing is as private as we think. But that's a story for the next scene. Stay tuned. In 2018, the world was rocked by a revelation. A scandal of epic proportions was brewing, a scandal that would send shockwaves through the corridors of power, from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C. The name of the game? Cambridge Analytica. It all started when a whistleblower named Christopher Wiley made a startling revelation. A firm called Cambridge Analytica had been harvesting the personal data of millions of Facebook users without their consent. The scale was staggering, with data from as many as 87 million users being exploited. And who was Cambridge Analytica? They were a political consulting firm, one that offered services to politicians who wished to change audience behavior. And change behavior they did by using the data they'd harvested to create sophisticated psychological profiles tailor-made to influence voters. What was Facebook's role in all of this? Well, the data was harvested via a seemingly innocuous quiz app on Facebook, which gathered data not only from those who took the quiz, but from all their Facebook friends as well. This was not a simple breach, but a systemic failure, a testament to the lax data policies that were in place. As the news broke, the world watched in disbelief. It wasn't just the scale of the breach that was shocking, but the purpose for which the data was used. This wasn't a case of financial fraud or identity theft. This was about manipulating the very fabric of democracy, about using personal data to influence political outcomes. The scandal raised a host of unsettling questions. How could such a breach occur? Why weren't users informed? And most importantly, how could we trust these platforms with our data if they couldn't guarantee its safety? The revelation sent ripples across the globe, leading to a renewed debate about data privacy. It was a wake-up call for us all, a chilling reminder of the power of data and the potential for its misuse. Suddenly, the illusion of privacy was shattered. In a world where data is the new oil, the Cambridge Analytica scandal was a stark reminder of the need for vigilance, for accountability, and for a serious rethink of how we handle and protect our personal data. The fallout was immediate and far-reaching. As the Cambridge Analytica scandal broke into the public consciousness, the world reeled from the shock. Governments, corporations, and individuals alike were forced to face the uncomfortable truth. Our data is not as secure as we once believed. In the wake of the scandal, governments worldwide scrambled to address the gaping holes in data privacy regulations. The European Union, for instance, enforced the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, with renewed vigor, levying hefty fines on corporations that failed to protect user data. Across the pond, the United States Congress summoned Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg for a grilling on Capitol Hill, demanding answers and accountability. Simultaneously, Facebook's stock price took a nosedive. Investors, horrified by the potential implications of the scandal, pulled their funds, resulting in a loss of over $50 billion in market value in just a few days. The message was clear. privacy breaches would not be tolerated. But perhaps the most significant fallout from the scandal was felt by the individual users whose data had been misused. Millions of people around the globe found themselves questioning their digital habits. The trust in social media platforms was shattered, replaced by a growing awareness of how little control users truly had over their digital lives. People began to ask, who else has access to my data? How is it being used? Can I ever regain control? In some ways, the scandal acted as a catalyst, sparking a global conversation about data privacy. It served as a stark reminder that in the digital age, personal data is a commodity, traded and sold without the owner's knowledge or consent. The Cambridge Analytica scandal changed the world's perception of data privacy. It shattered the illusion of control, exposing the vulnerabilities inherent in our increasingly digital lives. The shockwave it sent through the world still reverberates today, influencing how we interact with technology and shaping the policies that govern our digital world. The scandal served as a wake-up call to the world. It's a call that continues to ring in our ears, reminding us of the importance of vigilance and responsibility in protecting our digital privacy. In the aftermath, we were forced to confront uncomfortable truths. It was a reckoning for all of us, a wake-up call that prompted change. The Cambridge Analytica scandal, like a stone cast into still water, sent ripples through our society. In response to the scandal, governments around the world tightened regulations. Laws like the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe and the California Consumer Privacy Act in the United States were established to protect people's data. These laws mandated that companies must be transparent about how they collect and use data, and gave individuals the right to control their personal information. Simultaneously, public awareness about data privacy surged. People began to question the security of their digital footprint. They started to realize that their clicks, likes, and shares were more than just passive interactions. Each one was a valuable piece of data that could be used to influence their behavior. Facebook, at the epicenter of the scandal, was forced to reevaluate its policies. The social media giant implemented changes to limit data access by third-party apps. It also introduced more transparent privacy settings, giving users better control over their information. But perhaps the most profound change was the shift in mindset. We learned that our data is not just a collection of random bits and bytes. It's a reflection of who we are, our preferences, our beliefs, our fears. It's a powerful tool that, in the wrong hands, can be used to manipulate our decisions. We learned that data protection is not just about safeguarding information. It's about preserving our freedom of choice, our autonomy, our democracy. It's about ensuring that our digital selves are not exploited for profit or political gain. The Cambridge Analytica scandal was a harsh reminder of the fragile state of our online privacy. It taught us that in this digital age, vigilance is our greatest weapon against manipulation. We must be mindful of the data we share, the apps we use, the permissions we grant. Only then can we truly protect our digital selves. So where does that leave us now? In the wake of data breaches and scandals, it's clear that we must take responsibility for our own digital footprints. The first step is to understand that every click, every share, every seemingly innocuous online interaction leaves a trail that can be tracked, stored, and potentially exploited. But don't fret. You have the power to drastically reduce your digital vulnerability. Here are a few actionable steps to help you secure your digital footprint. Firstly, be aware of what you're sharing and with whom. That funny quiz you just took? It might be collecting more than just your sense of humor. Before you click, think. Is this share necessary? What information am I giving away? Secondly, practice good password hygiene. That means not using the same password for multiple accounts and updating your passwords regularly. Consider using a password manager to keep track of your passwords securely. Thirdly, enable two-factor authentication wherever possible. This adds an extra layer of security, making it harder for hackers to access your accounts even if they have your password. Next, be mindful of the apps and services you use. Many apps require access to personal data that they don't necessarily need to function. If an app is requesting access to your location, contacts, or other sensitive information, question whether it's really necessary. Finally, stay informed. The landscape of digital security is ever-changing. What's safe today may not be safe tomorrow. Keep up with the latest news in cybersecurity and adjust your practices accordingly. Remember, your data is valuable. Treat it as such. Don't give it away lightly. Be cautious, be conscious, and make smart decisions about your online behavior. And that's not just about protecting yourself, it's about protecting everyone. Because when we all take steps to secure our digital footprints, we make the digital world a safer place for everyone. Remember, in the digital age, vigilance is your best defense.